All right, our next submitter, Nikki Smetham.
Excuse me, Andrew. Senior staff say that I should disclose that I used to be married to Nikki until she left me.
Just greener
All right, so thank you for that acknowledgement. Nikki, welcome to the table. Really good to have you with us this afternoon. And you've got 3 minutes to present your submission to us today. Thank you.
Tēnā koutou. My name is Nikki Smetham. I'm a landscape architect with a Bachelor of Landscape Architecture, and I've got over 20 years' experience as a landscape planner, providing landscape and visual assessments for a wide variety of developments throughout the South Island. I'm a registered member of the New Zealand Institute of Landscape Architects. So the reason for my submission is we're not developers, but we were assessed to pay $13,000 as development contribution for our family flat. And prior to this, had no idea of development contributions other than, yes, they were part of any development that occurred throughout the city. We renovated a 4-bedroom, 1-study, 2-bathroom dwelling and applied for the necessary building consent. During the course of our renovation, we added a family flat. We did not need, in my understanding, we did not need a resource consent or a building consent or a service connection to do this. But because the floor plan changed, the City Council insisted we lodge an amendment to our building consent before issuing a code of compliance. And inevitably this triggered an assessment for development contribution. But based on the definition of a kitchen, our dwelling already essentially contained a family flat, and furthermore, we were not increasing demand on council infrastructure. Therefore, I believe the development contribution policy needs to consider or include the following. A provision that exempts a development contribution if it can be demonstrated that despite the creation of a residential unit, there is no increased demand on the City Council infrastructure. I think this is a legal matter relating to the intent of the policy, but I think it's important that the policy is applied legally. And in my opinion, a processing planner should also be able to apply their discretion where there are obvious gaps or inconsistencies that occur, and that inclusion of exemption could facilitate this option. I think there needs to be consistency with the district plan, particularly where the circular nature of requirements and there is confusion relating to definitions under the district plan, as we experienced, means that the default is to apply the development contribution policy even when there's clearly no increased demand. The trigger for a development contribution is resource consent, building consent or a service connection, not a residential unit per se. And there's, I don't know why there was so much confusion around that. I've set out some definitions of residential units and kitchenette, family flat, residential unit, and I think there is some confusion there. There are a bracket saying other than a kitchen in a family flat, a residential unit may include no more than one family flat as part of that residential unit, and there just seems to be some inconsistencies across the definitions, particularly in relation to a kitchen, which means part of a building with a sink that is capable of being used as a cooking area. I mean, that's ridiculous. We had that, clearly. And I just think it needs to be firmed up. I just recommend that is redefined to clarify the meaning and avoid confusion.
All right, that does bring us to the end of the 3 minutes, but thank you for the written submission. Thank you for the comments that you've made this afternoon, some quite specific items that you raise, and also a real-life example of the application of those as well. So that's been very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. All right, so